What's going on, y'all? Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time. If you're a return subscriber, welcome back. I'm Real King, and in this video, y'all, I'm going to share this delicious cigar right here, Rocky Patel Emerald label. And I'm also going to talk to y'all a little bit about some of the differences that I will be looking forward to and experiencing when it comes to traveling from the US to some of these other countries that I plan on going to, like Brazil and Thailand. This is a delicious cigar. I have not tried this one before, guys. I usually have had like the gold label, and then recently I had that 13th anniversary, and this one has been, you know, on my mind for quite a while. I never got around to getting it. It is a delicious cigar, and as a lot of y'all know, this is my first year smoking cigars, and so I'm still getting familiar with you know taste notes and stuff like that. But I'll do my best in just letting y'all know what I'm getting out of this cigar and stuff like that, for anyone out there that might be interested in this particular cigar. But anyways, I'm actually looking forward to a lot of differences that will be that I'll be experiencing when it comes to traveling. As an American, I know that we're used to certain things here, and what we're used to here, when we leave this country, we're going to be basically being reacclimated to other cultures and what is normal to them. So what may be normal to us here, it may not fly in other countries, you know what I'm saying? And so, those are some things that, a lot of people need to understand when it comes to traveling. What we're used to here in the States, it may be different in other places that we go. One of the major things that's going to be different is obviously going to be the communication. And so I have been learning my Portuguese lately. Actually, I can speak quite a few phrases. I know a lot of the words, so like just the basic things, for getting around, like regular touristy kind of things. I'm very familiar with that, so I'm not too far off on that. I have been practicing. I really just have to get comfortable with having conversations and things like that. So when it comes to going to another country, obviously communication is something that you're going to need to overcome or have some kind of grasp on, and it's best to kind of get to learn these things before you go. And so I have a good amount of time before I am going, and so that is what I'm doing in the meantime. So I'm just practicing, studying up on the language and things like that, using my time wisely. I know like a place like Brazil, where they speak Portuguese primarily, they're really not that, they don't speak a lot of English there, and so just being able to navigate, get around, ordering stuff, asking questions and that kind of stuff, you're going to need to know just at least some basic Portuguese, which is obviously different here in America, because even though there's Mexicans that live here, especially in Texas, we can get by without having to learn or know Spanish. But of course, in a lot of the work fields that we're in, we are taught Spanish from some of the Hispanics that work in the workplaces and stuff like that. So it's a little different on that when it comes to that. As far as this cigar goes, guys, it is a good cigar. I'm trying to really get the taste. I think year 2, which is going to be in about 2 months, or maybe a month, maybe it's in January. That's when I'm going to need to be really kind of like honing in on my taste notes and stuff like that, flavor notes and what I'm tasting and stuff like that. But yeah, but this is a good cigar. One thing I will say and I'm kind of picky when it comes to that kind of stuff, is the outer leaf. This outer leaf is not bad. And I kind of gauge that for myself on spitting and things like that. It's not really bitter, so there's no spitting going on with this. And it's actually a very smooth smoke. I really like it. This actually lit really well, and it's, you know, it's got a good burn line and all that, you know what I'm saying? I haven't been really focused on it so much, but it's actually a really good cigar, guys. Well constructed and everything, as you guys can see, all around. Yeah, anyways, so yeah, communication is, like I said, is pretty important. In a place like Thailand, well, getting back to Brazil, Portuguese is pretty simple as far as I'm concerned. It's really simple to learn. I don't see any major issues with it. It's really just the phonics part of it, you know what I'm saying? Learning how to pronounce certain words, and, you know, what certain letters, you know, make certain sounds, stuff like that. But other than that, you know what I'm saying, I think, sorry, there's a bug that's really trolling me right now. I think the major thing would be going to Thailand, because that's a completely different language, and they're just very different. And so I think there would be more of a learning curve there in Thailand. But unlike in Brazil, Thailand, they get a lot of tourists, and they actually speak more English, and they understand English more there than in Brazil. So there's, you know, it just depends on, you know, where you're at and stuff like that, you know. Now you can take classes, I believe, in both countries. In Brazil, they also, you know, they provide Portuguese classes at the colleges and stuff like that. And, you know, you also get that in Thailand. So there's ways to overcome that hurdle. But that's one of the major differences. You're going to need to learn that language. You're not going to be able to go to these countries and just live there comfortably without learning the language. How are you going to be able to communicate and get, you know things, stuff like that? So, but I love to learn. I know Portuguese is a really beautiful language, and so that's one of the languages that I'm really having a lot of fun learning and stuff like that. And the cool thing is, you know, even when using a translator, even while using a translator, you can actually communicate pretty comfortably with, you know, locals there, and they'll help you out with understanding what you're trying to, you know, get across, or, you know, communicate with them and stuff like that. But having that is really helpful. I don't think that's necessarily the same with Thailand. It might be, I don't know. And I'm only kind of basing that off of the fact that I have Vietnamese, I live with these older Vietnamese people, and using the translator to communicate with them is not as easy as it is, because I can, you know what I'm saying, it's a little weird for me to explain, but it's just not the same. So one of the things that I did notice. Okay, so we talked about the communication, which is pretty obvious. How about the next thing? Weather. So here in Houston, Texas, where I'm at, okay, the weather is hot. I hear a lot of people, a lot of travelers, they speak about the weather, and they always talk about how hot these places are. It's always hot. They don't speak about how cold nowhere is and stuff like that. It's always hot. Thailand, hot. Brazil, hot. Thailand, it rains. You know, Brazil rains. Okay, look. Again, I'm from Houston, Texas. We get hurricanes here. And it is very hot. I think the only state that's hotter than Texas on average is probably Arizona. And that's not even the whole state, I don't think. I think Nevada gets pretty hot. I think those three states are probably the hottest states when it comes to the U.S. Nevada, Arizona, and Texas. Those are the hottest states. And I'm talking about on average, you know what I'm saying? Like, other states get hot, but when it comes to Houston hot, it's humid. So it's a little bit different in that regards. You know, it's just humid. Okay. So as far as the weather, and I've been to a lot of different cities and states, guys, where the weather is much different than here. It is here in Texas, in Houston. I've been in Colorado, the mountains of Colorado, Steamboat Springs, where it's like really cold. I mean, I was out there working as an electrician in 40 below. So I've been in really cold climates before. In Portland, Oregon, it rains 300 plus days out of the year. So I'm used to all that rain. You know, I've been in Rapid City, South Dakota, where it's very windy and very cold. So when it comes to weather and stuff like that, y'all, oops, give me 1 second. It seems as if I lost my my light went out. So I'm just gonna hit that real quick for you, guys. But yeah, I mean, as far as, you know, weather goes and stuff like that, that's never been an issue for me when it comes to traveling and stuff like that. Although I've heard a lot, like I said, a lot of travel, they do mention that. I love the heat. I love the humid heat here in Houston. I've been in dry heat up north, and it's fine. It's more comfortable, but I mean, I'm used to sweating. I'm used to the humidity all day long. So when it comes to, I mean, I haven't been in Nevada when it's real hot, and I haven't been in Arizona when it's real hot. So I don't know how it is there. I just know up there is dry heat, and down here is humid heat. And that's a major difference, you know, because we have the heat index, so it'll be 100 degrees, but it'll feel like it's 110, 120. You know what I mean? It's really, really, there's something there I'm getting out of the cigar. It's a good taste. It's a different taste. So that's one thing that I have been realizing, guys, since I've been smoking cigars, is as I smoke more, I am noticing the different flavors and certain different tastes that I'm getting out of these cigars and stuff like that. It's just I got to hone in more on those specific tastes and stuff like that. But this is really good. It's very easy to smoke, creamy, smooth. Really enjoy it. Really enjoy it. But anyways, other than that, delicious cigar. So yeah, when it comes to, you know, weather conditions and stuff like that, I'm used to it all. Been in many hurricanes here in Houston. Up north when I was living in Oregon, been in a few different earthquakes. Been in a couple tornadoes. So I'm not bothered by any of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's understandable. So I'm definitely looking forward to experiencing the weather in these other countries, because I keep hearing YouTubers talking about that, you know, when they're traveling and stuff, you know, and they're just like, really, I don't think a lot of these people are from Texas though, or they're not from Houston, because Texas is big. And Austin, Texas does not have the same kind of weather as Houston. That's a big thing, a big difference there. Okay. There is a bug that's like trolling me right now, y'all. I don't know, it's like just standing, it's like flying right in front of my face, and it just won't move. It's really annoying, especially when I'm trying to do a video. Okay. So, from what I understand, you get some earthquakes in Thailand, and I don't really hear too much about really drastic weather from a lot of solo travelers in Brazil. So yeah, but I'm not a big fan of really like wet, rainy conditions. So, and I won't go to a place that will have all that kind of rain. It's just like the United States, you know, there's plenty of states here. Some are rainy, some aren't. So it's that kind of thing. So as far as me going to Brazil, as a first timer, I want to make sure I do my due diligence and research the cities and states that have more favorable weather for me. Like, I don't want to go somewhere where it's really cold all the time, and I definitely don't want to go somewhere that it's rainy all the time. So that is something that I'm going to be considering as far as my moving or my traveling to these countries, is the weather. I like to be outdoors, and I'm going to be doing a lot of content that's going to be outdoors, and so I need to make sure that, you know, the conditions are going to be decent for me to be able to do my content that I want to do. Huh. I think another major thing I'm looking forward to is gonna have to be the cuisine, you know, the food and stuff like that. I love to eat, but I'm a healthy eater. I was always raised to eat healthy, and interestingly enough, a lot of the dishes in Brazil, I grew up eating. Being poor, we ate a lot of beans and rice, you know what I'm saying? That was easy stuff to you know, make, and it lasts, you know, you can, you know, that can stretch. We can make a lot of stuff out of that. And a lot of Brazilians eat like that. You know, they eat a lot of health. They eat more healthier, I think, than they do in Thailand. Just the kind of foods that they eat and how they prepare it is way more healthier on average. Now, here in America or in the U.S., we already know how our food is and stuff like that here. And the more I learn about how our food is, the more I actually want to, you know, go somewhere else where the food is actually known to be a lot healthier and better to consume. And that's a big deal for me. Also, you know, everything is just more pure. You know, when you're getting drinks, they're actual fruit drinks, not fruit flavored drinks, like flavoring, artificial flavoring and coloring and stuff like that. You get like the real deal in places like Thailand and places like Brazil, you know. So, and I'm not saying that these places are perfect. I'm not saying that everything is healthy there. They got McDonald's in all these places. They got KFCs and stuff like that there. But the actual food that you cook and stuff like that, they take real pride in that. You know, it's family traditional recipes and stuff like that. But it's simple recipes, not overdone and doctored up and heavily saturated with a lot of impurities and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So just getting a different taste of the foods in other places, the dishes and stuff like that that I'm not used to here is something I'm definitely looking forward to. You know what I mean? Because to me, American food is very boring, you know, and plus we get our food is from other cultures anyways and stuff like that, whether that be Italians, you know, French, everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is actually ours? I mean, we call stuff French fries, you know what I mean? They're not from France. I wanted to get a kind of a smaller cigar for this video, guys. So this is not a big cigar. The gauge and stuff like that, the length is actually, it's a good size for this video. But it's actually really good. I already took off, but I'll show you guys. I like the band work, and this Rocky Patel has gorgeous band work. I mean, I love the way that everything lines up. You know, I'm one of those people that I pay attention to those small details. And that goes into buying cigars individually. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own reason why they're getting a cigar, but a lot of it comes down to what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like, that looks like it looks cool. I like the band work or whatever, and that's good enough. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, Rocky Patel they don't fall short. They always deliver on, you know, really beautiful looking cigars. Let me show you what the bottom of this cigar came with as far as the wrapper or the band. I mean, yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful. All the way around, lines up perfectly. It's not crooked. I really like that. So, but yeah, this is a great cigar, guys. It's look. I mean, I haven't had to touch it up. You know what I'm saying? It's burning evenly. That's beautiful. I like that. Also, the construction of the cigar has been excellent. It cut good on the top. It wasn't messed up or nothing like that. I didn't have any outer leaves that were breaking or that seemed like it was brittle. Really good construction on the cigar. I'm very impressed. Very impressed. I can see myself getting this again. It's an enjoyable cigar. Basically, all of the Rocky Patels that I've had, and it's been 3 different ones, they've all delivered. I have had no issues with any of them. Big deal. All right, so we talked about the cuisines and stuff like that, the different tastes, different fruits, different produces and stuff like that, the different ingredients that they use. I'm very interested in all of that, guys. I love that. I love to eat. And as I get older in my age, what's important to me is just being healthy, eating healthier. What am I consuming? What am I putting in my body? And all of that. That is what's important to me. And so a lot of heavy, cholesterol foods, or foods that got a lot of, that's fried foods, a lot of stuff that's like that. I'm really not trying to have that anymore. So, just being able to be somewhere where they cook, their meals with care and, with precision, all that kind of stuff, that's important to me. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Now, another major thing that's different that I'm used to here in America is definitely the music. Definitely the music. Now, I think Brazil might be the closest to me as far as good music, cultural music. Their hip hop is more, I guess, more like American hip hop than it is in Thailand. They do have hip hop in Thailand, but it's different. It sounds a lot different, and I think for me it would take some getting used to, mainly because of the language and how different the language is there. And so culturally, I think Brazil is more culturally similar to what I'm used to in America, and even my people specifically. And that's something that I actually like. I do enjoy how different it is in its own way, but I do appreciate some similarity, because that kind of helps me be able to transition into that and understand it better. So, and they have a lot of different music out there that's cultural, that I've been kind of like doing some research on, and I'm like really excited to experience that. So I plan to go to a lot of like different musical events out there, be checking out different, going to different bars and stuff like that, clubs, just blues and stuff like that. Like, I love music. I come from a music family, so music is really important to me. So I think for that, a place like Brazil is going to be more something I would enjoy more so musically, as far as opposed to Thailand. I have heard some of their cultural music, and it's a little different for me. It'll take me some getting used to, but that's not a problem. I respect that culture, and their music is very cultural based, and that's really cool. So that's something that I'm going to definitely enjoy, just experiencing and checking out and stuff like that. This is a good cigar. I mean, cigars all pretty much taste the same. There's different little tastes and flavors that you get out of each one. And to be honest, everybody's palate is different in its own way. So everybody's gonna taste something, get a little bit different in their own way, and that's always good. But this is really good, y'all. It's so good. I like it. And I'm about to be on my, this is like the third that I'm about to be at right now. So I'll be removing that band here in a moment. I like to keep my bands. I have a little, cigar diary that I keep everything in and stuff like that. So that's going to help me out with my flavor notes, and also picking out my cigars when I want to get them and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what else. So yeah, the music is definitely a big thing that I'm going to be looking forward to when it comes to Brazil, or just, traveling, period. Because I love music, and, and I love to dance and stuff like that. So, all of that is definitely something I am looking forward to. Let's see. I think the people is probably the next thing that I'm looking forward to. Because it's different when you're in America and you have, foreigners coming to this country and stuff like that. This is the home, so you don't have to adjust to them as so much as they have to adjust to us here. Well, now I'm going to be a foreigner in another country, and so I will need to be getting used to how the people are there. And so the ways that they are in other countries are not necessarily the same ways that we are here. So if I am used to Southern hospitality here in Texas, just like if I was to go up somewhere up north, you know, yes ma'am and no ma'am and stuff like that, opening the doors for people. Like, they don't automatically just do that everywhere. We do that here in the South because of the hospitality that we're raised upon and stuff like that here. But like if you go like to the East Coast, they're very rude over there. They're not polite. So like a place like that, like you know the people, and meeting people, and just communicating stuff like that. It really just is being careful. You can't be, you got to be smart. Not everybody has the best intentions, and you kind of stick out like a sore thumb. Verbally, you sound different, stuff like that. Like in Brazil, I might not look different, but I sound different because I don't speak fluid Portuguese and I speak fluid English, and they don't. And so I'm going to be sounding different just because of that alone. I'm going to take off this band, y'all, kind of carefully. Perfect. But yeah, so getting to know people, making friends and stuff like that. I normally have no problems making friends. I'm a very sociable person. My personality is my strong point. I make friends really easily. I'm a nice person. I smile a lot. And so that goes a long ways, especially when you're doing traveling and stuff like that, So, just meeting people. I'm really interested in that because I like to meet. I like to be sociable and stuff like that. And I believe that my personality is going to be really something that's going to help me out in navigating around and really enjoying traveling in these other countries. You know what I'm saying? I have friends here in America from a lot of different backgrounds, from Asian backgrounds, from, Spanish backgrounds, European backgrounds, from African backgrounds. So I mean, I know a lot of different people, and so for that, that's something that's good for me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think I'll have problems making friends. It's just with the communication and just knowing who to trust and who to kind of like avoid, that kind of stuff. That's going to be something that's going to be for me to kind of overcome and to kind of get used to. So but I think those are some of the main things that I'm looking forward to when it comes to traveling and stuff like that. All in all, I'm really excited, y'all, because I do, I respect cultures. I grew up, most of my life, meeting a lot of people and being friends with a lot of people that are from different countries and stuff like that. And I never really thought about, traveling or going to visit countries back when I was younger. And so just more or less that's been something new, in these past like 5 years, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, just that I'm actually getting ready to, I'm finally going to be doing this is such a big deal. I'm really excited. I very much am excited, and this world is just so big, and it's just like, why stay put? Why just stay in your comfort zone? This world has a lot to offer for everybody, you know what I'm saying? And I really would just advise and suggest anybody out there that left. I mean, I've left my city and state. I've traveled around in America to a few different states, and so I mean, on that scale, it's been good, really good experiences. I've been in places, in cities and states where they've said, oh well, this is dangerous and these parts of town is dangerous, and I went to those parts of town and they weren't bad. So I think it just kind of depends on the persons and stuff like that. I've heard a lot of horror stories from people from Brazil warning me about this and that. I respect those. I mean, those people, what they say, because they're from there. They know. It's like that with anywhere. I can warn people about coming to Texas or to Houston, and I have before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know how it is here in Houston. If I talk so much and I don't puff this, and it kind of goes out. So, but yeah. Anyways, y'all. So I'm definitely looking to just have all these new experiences with traveling. And my channel is really gonna take off when I start doing that. I'll be able to kind of show y'all a lot more of my personality through my videos and stuff like that. So I'm definitely excited to experience all that and to share those experiences with y'all out here. But yeah, nature is something also. One more quick thing, nature. I'm a big nature guy. I've done a lot of camping when I was younger, hiking. I've done some rock climbing. I've whitewater rafted, done all that kind of stuff. So when it comes to all these opportunities to do things, y'all, I'm all about that. You know what I'm saying? So adventures, and I know Brazil has a lot there for me to check out and to explore, just same as Thailand. And I've seen all these videos, and they're talking about give me 1 second, guys. I gotta light it up again. But yeah, I mean, I keep seeing these videos of people, and hold on, I lost my train of thought real quick. That's not good. Nature. I love the outdoors. I took a botany class in high school, so I learned about like plants and trees and stuff like that. So that's something that fascinates me. Wildlife, birds, all the animals. I'm into all that. So I know Brazil has a lot of that for me to explore. I think Thailand also has a good amount of nature and wildlife out there. That's really cool. It's a lot different than here. And so even here in the States, I love going to the zoo. I love animals. I love all the different animals, stuff like that. And so I'm looking forward to experiencing those type of things in these countries, y'all. So I mean, it's gonna be fun. But those are probably some of the main things that I'm actually looking forward to, guys, that are the differences, the major differences that's going to be for me to experience leaving the United States and going elsewhere. Anyways, guys, that's going to be all that I have for this video. Like, comment, subscribe. If you guys like the video, make sure that you guys let me know, give it a thumbs up and all that. Also hit that notification bell, that way you guys are notified when my videos are uploading. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Sorry about that. With that being said, y'all, I'm Real King, and y'all take it easy.